It's Michelle's Songbird Song. I am reborn every morn. I awake from the bliss of sleep and forsake my pillow and my sheet, an infant state of being inert. I choose a new day of birth. Song. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Do I stay? Do I stretch like a cat? Do I stay impacted like a rat? Do I fly from bed like a bat? Today, this new day, I test the measure of my worth to discover who and what I am. Without clothes, I look down at my biology to see my body tell me what is the biggest part of being in my body. Go forth and multiply. That's the answer to the first why. Show new life to the heavens beyond the sky. My really big show. Do I have nuts like a squirrel to squirt testosterone from my bone? Hard like a stone? Am I a male, full grown? An animal? Or am I more? My brain is bigger. I control my trigger. Like Roy Rogers uses his voice to make a choice. He will ride on only his bride. Will he respect his position of being a creator? Is he being a model of a snake, an alligator, or the highest, a king or a queen, a good human being? Or do I have a larger hole and a womb in my body to have and to hold, developing life? That began when I saw the perfect fit, if only I could be his wife and create new life with him. Fate is kind to those who love. She'll give the fulfillment of your secret longing. Shake it to the east, shake it to the west, shake it to the one I love the best. You love the best. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. She may wish upon Mars, Aries the ram, the initiator of action, including war. She may wish upon Venus, the goddess of love, Taurus the bull, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Jonathan musician, social worker, St. Andrew taught. Our one freedom is to love and to choose to live each day of our lives as we wish. You'll get the child you wished for, however quickly you decide it. That's why Socrates, now T. Michelle Birdsong, said, know thyself. Know who you wished could be yours to make a baby with. 3 times 1 is 3 multiplied. You, a child and first best choice of your perfect mate. Checkmate. Game over. You'll win the one you crown your king secretly. You may wish upon Mercury, Gemini, the quick-wit twin, or you may wish upon Cancer, Moon Honey, the claws of a crab, home-loving. Or you may wish upon the Sun, Leo, the Lion King. Or you may wish upon the Virgin, Virgo, also ruled by logical Mercury. Or you may wish upon the scales of justice, fair-minded Libra. Or you may wish upon Pluto, the dwarf planet, Scorpio, who stings like a butterfly. Oh, my pages are stuck again. So let me wet my thumb. Okay. Or you may wish upon Jupiter, a Sagittarius, Archer, a bow and arrow, Sam Cooke, Josh Groban, Jesus Christ, said, Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me. Now, Cupid, if your arrow makes a love storm for me, I promise I will love her until eternity. E for extra, T for terrestrial, E for Eve, Mary Magdalene, energy, pleasure ring. Extraterrestrial Eve, Mary Magdalene's energy, pleasure ring, wedding ring. Tie, eternal, eternal tie. Josh Groban's moon is Sagittarius. The sun is Pisces. And that's the 12 days of Christmas, the zodiac. Or you may wish upon Uranus, the water bearer, T. Michelle Birdsong's rising sign, song Aquarius, song by Galt McDermott, friend of Louis Stouts, a West Indian spiritual mentor of T. Michelle Birdsong. The song says, when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. Taurus, the bull, is a steer. T. Michelle Birdsong's rebirthday is in Taurus, April 21st, 2022. Jupiter, Charan Singh, Sagittarius. Mars, T. Michelle Birdsong, Aries, born April 9th. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. 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 Harmony and understanding. Sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of visions. Mystic crystal revelation. And the mind's true liberation. Aquarius. Aquarius. Charan Singh, Josh Groban, and T. Michelle Birdsong are all mystics. Source. Lyric found. Lyric find. Find the lyrics of the courtship of Jesus Christ to Mary Magdalene. Songwriters Galt McDermott, Sir Paul McCartney, song Michelle, song Ebony and Ivory, a long and winding road to your heart, Sun, sing Birdsong. The trailer of Hair, Aquarius. Hair is a disturbing element in the black community. For Edwin Birdsong's debut album, which I'll show you a picture of it. That's it. Debut album. his wife, T. Michelle Birdsong, sat for 7 hours massaging his scalp with sulfur 8 hair oil, grease, and patiently taking very small swatches of his hair, parting it and carefully entwining it, called in her community plaiting or braiding, beginning with Chief Sitting Bull, Mama Sally, part Blackfoot Indian. Mama Sally had waist-length hair that her daughter Minnie Ellis Sally is T. Michelle's great-grandmother, now reborn as her granddaughter Ostara Gloria. Mama Sally's husband, tall, dark, handsome, wealthy plantation owner, funny, Pisces, Papa John, T. Michelle's great-grandfather, now reborn as manager of St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3, supportive housing, SRO, in Chelsea, Manhattan, sold to the Holy Royal Family of Good Human Beings, matriarch, queen of creativity, T. Michelle Birdsong, her father, King George V, when she was Princess Mary, is Milton Harris. Her mother, Queen Mary, was Mother Superior character in The Sound of Music, who had the rambunctious musician nun Maria leave her abbey and work for a wealthy widower with 7 children. But before he let Maria go, before I go to this, let me just say that the disturbing element in the black community was their hair, and this album answered that problem by creating hair art. So they didn't even have to pay for it. They could plait their children's hair in whatever fancy way they wanted to. They didn't have to wear wigs or weaves or be ashamed of their hair. Their hair could be a source of pride, of art. Okay? So this album, what it is, solved that problem of the black community. All right, now I'll go back to talking about Maria, the nun. Before Mother Superior let Maria go, she said one of the toughest songs a singer can sing. Climb every mountain till you find your dream. Bolt, like a bolt out of the blue. Fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. The widower, Baron von Trapp, is Jesus Christ, Josh Groban. Maria is Mary Magdalene. She teaches his children to sing so well they become professional singers. See the musical, The Sound of Music. The Baron proposes to Maria. She says yes. They escape the Nazi invasion of Austria. They tour as the Von Trapp family singers, including the Baron, who has a nice voice. When the Baron loses his money, it's no problem. The family makes a good living singing together. Fast forward to the 60s, the Sagittarius guru of T. Michelle and Louis Stout, Charan Singh, comes to America from India. Louis Stout calls T. Michelle and says simply, "He's here." She didn't know he was talking about Jesus Christ III. She was in bed and said she couldn't come to the hotel to be with them in the meeting. God had been built up in her mind by the church as this larger-than-life supernatural figure. It was unfathomable to her that he could be in New York City and she could actually see him in person. And what you can't imagine, you can't have. So she went back to bed, infanthood level, and he went to see the Broadway musical, The Sound of Music, Years later, at a satsangi gathering in Daffy's loft, Daffy's the coolest Westerner satsangi. All the whites and cool blacks look up to him. He used to be a director in the 60s. Fred Siegel, George Siegel, the movie star's brother, tells T. Michelle, when the master was in New York, he went to see The Sound of Music. For years, T. Michelle wondered why. After she finally went to India and saw the master and relieved herself of guilt for choosing sleep over being with him, some years later, after she had been homeless and on the street and in and out of homeless shelters, she accompanied him on a sentimental him, meaning Charan Singh, Jesus Christ III, on a sentimental journey back 8 generations of her family. But to the master's surprise, she kept going all the way back to the beginning of creation. So she picked up the wisdom of the ages, and Deborah Murdoch dubbed her, T. Michelle Birdsong, the Queen of Information. She found out her significant past lives as well as Jesus Christ's. Realizing that hers is a musical family, she realized her story is Maria Van Trapp's, the way Baroness Maria Van Trapp, her way out of destitution for herself and her family is to create a Broadway musical, Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ, What It Is, and Love Struck 3, King David, and St. Paul. She had ideas for 3 musicals, maybe more. She could write the lyrics, sing her son the music, and Robin, her daughter, could write the script. What It Is has already been written, and she found the lyrics for Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ's story, as well as Love Struck 3. The songs were already written. So Don McLean had called her and told her songwriters had used the events of her life to craft into songs without letting on she's the source. He said he was going to make her rich and famous like them. Then he was arrested. She's reading the book, Discover the Hidden You by God. Dr. Miles Monroe. Mike Murdoch says he's a friend of Miles Monroe. He says he's read Bill Gates' book, Business at the Speed of Thought. She's waiting for a book she ordered called The Source by a PhD, MD woman. T. Michelle is getting over the problem she had as a child, guilt for sleeping. She's learned sleeping 7 to 8 hours is essential for the health of the brain. Same thing about eating. Her friend Vivian Tyson starved to death. T. Michelle struggles to eat at least 1,600 calories a day as a lacto-vegetarian for 50-plus years. Charan Singh told her to get a nutritionist. She's using Jesus' Legal Father book, Boundless, by Ben Greenfield. The Will to Live. She thinks faith-filled. She thinks faith-filled, hopeful thoughts. Greg Braden's book, Human by Design, and her grandfather in another life, Dr. Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief, are the books she read to give her hope and scientific information about eternal life is possible, depending on how you think. All right, that's the end of this video. I've given you a lot of information, but it's all true. So there you are. So long. Think about it.